There we go. Okay, we'll get started. Hopefully everybody can hear me. It sounds okay there. Our main topic today is going to be voice and video assistance by myself, Tom Kreuzer. We've muted the audio, and you can turn off your video until the Q&A at the end of the presentation. If you do have a question, you can use the chat, and we'll get to those chat after the presentation. The handout is out on the PC Club website. If you go to the meetings and then the past meeting files, you'll see it out there. And I believe Jim is also going to add it to the chat in a little bit. So he'll attach the file in there, and you can download it from the chat. The agenda will cover a few club status things first, and then we'll get to the main topic. Future meetings, this Friday we have the Max SIG. And they're covering a lot of things there. Some of the new stuff that just came out, lessons learned, Netgear, help, Apple Developer Conference, music memos. So they have a full agenda there. And if you do have an iPhone or a tablet there, an iPad, it's well worthwhile to attend the Mac SIGs also. Our next question and answer session is July 6th, Tuesday, July 6th. You're welcome to join that. We take questions and answers, and if we have some free time, we'll talk about some other subjects that are current there. Our next main topic in July 21st, is going to be on podcasts. We'll talk about how you can listen to them and some of the options and different things that you can do there. Our officers, Jim is our president, Linda is our vice president, Paul is our membership secretary, Paula is our treasurer, Chuck is our recording secretary, Mike is Max SIG, Andrew is our communication coordinator, and I'm a director at large. We do have a couple of volunteers, and if you'd like to help, especially with when we get back together and maybe start having some pizza meetings and sandwich meetings and picnic, we can always use volunteers. So if you can do that, that's great. And I just have a little picture there from one of the past picnics there. Members old and new, you can pay your $8 dues to Paul. Paul does send out a notice when your membership is due, and so not everybody's is due at the same time. It depends on when you join the club. But also a reminder, if you are changing your email, let's say you're retiring from 3M, you want to make sure and notify us so that we can keep in touch with you. If you have suggestions for topics, you can email your ideas or talk to any of the board members. We're always looking for people to volunteer or present. Could be on some hardware or software you use at work or at home. And if you don't want to present, we do have our monthly newsletter. You can write a long or a short article. Website, we publish the handouts and the slides from meetings like this. We also, if we can record, we put the recording out there. We have our deal section. We have our monthly newsletter. And the link is shown there, but the link is also on all the emails that we send out. Okay, let's get to our main topic today, which is voice and video assistance. This is just a small sample. There's literally thousands of devices now that are voice enabled there or video enabled, so the variety has certainly changed. Personally, I've been waiting for home automation ever since I saw the Jetsons back in 1962, where you had the robots and the future and everything was done. We're actually getting there with these devices. About 1 in 4 U.S. adults owns an assistant. So this number has gone up quite rapidly there. And if you don't have a voice or a video assistant, hopefully after today's presentation you'll consider getting one and all the things that it can do for you. Voice is a very convenient way to communicate with technology. So instead of using a keyboard or having to type or moving a mouse or touching a screen, voice can be a very user-friendly way to interact and to get things done. By definition, an assistant is an electronic device that connects to other devices and networks. So this little device that you buy, or some of them aren't so little, they're built into bigger things like refrigerators even. It connects to the internet, it connects to other smart devices to enable you to do all kinds of wonderful things. In the last 3 years, these voice assistants have been joined by video assistants, and we'll talk about the difference between the two there. Voice assistants, you can get them as low as $20, and that's usually when you have like the Amazon Prime Day coming up, and Target and other places will put them on sale. So the cheapest devices sell for about $29, and you can find them on sale for, like I say, about $20. Okay, a little history and how they work. Voice assistants actually started in the smartphones back in 2011 with the Apple Siri and the Google Now. Over the years, the systems have improved to listen better, to respond better, and to interact with other smart devices. In 2016, Amazon created the first voice assistant standalone device there. Voice assistant, the Echo and the Dot. Amazon and Google are the two main companies that make these assistants. Apple does have some, and you'll see a few other odd brands, but by far the major ones are Amazon and Google there. Jim, I'm getting a little sound there. Maybe if you want to mute yourself, or thank you. New devices are coming out all the time, with assistants being added to TVs. So this voice assistant or video capabilities is being added to TVs, it's being added in cars, it's being added in home appliances, and hundreds, well, thousands of other devices out there also. To set up these devices, usually you install an app, and we won't talk too much about that, but the setup is a one-time setup, but then it gives you an interface to do things also. So on a tablet or a phone, if you have an Amazon device, you put in the Amazon Alexa app, and that's the way you configure the whole Alexa experience there. This enables you to set hundreds of features. So within the Amazon Alexa app, you can define your Wi-Fi connection. You can define your email accounts to link to, your calendars, the smart devices that you have, and you can set hundreds of features within the app itself. And so that's the way you can set up these different devices and connect them there. And on the right there, I'm just showing some of the devices that Amazon actually sells that have the Alexa built in. So they have glasses built into the glasses, built into the ear pods there, built into cameras, built into video, built into speakers. So you can actually put this in almost any device. I have to address this because this is one of the concerns that I hear from people that say, I don't want to have one of these devices because I'm afraid, I'm afraid about the security or the privacy there. And this is from a current survey which talked about smart home privacy concerns. And 68% of the people believe that these smart home devices are always listening to what they're saying, and collecting their information about what they're saying, whether it's in their living room or bedroom, or if you have video, that it's Google is constantly monitoring you. And we'll talk about this, but it's not true, and I'll explain exactly how the devices work. And Google is not watching you or listening to you all the time there. But it certainly is a big concern for a lot of people out there. I will say that assistants are always listening and waiting for their wake word. So they are listening for the default for the Amazon is Alexa. So they're waiting for that word to be said. Anything you say before that is not collected, is not analyzed, is not dissected and figured out. Nothing is being done with any conversation or any video that may have been captured there. Once the device hears the wake word, it begins to record audio, and it sends that recording to a server to be processed. Just the same as if you were on your PC and you were doing a Google search. While the Google window is up, nothing is happening. But once you type something in and hit enter, then that text that you want to search is being sent to a server to process that and look it up. So the real brains is not in the little speaker that you have in your house, or if it's in a TV or in any of these other devices. There's really no brains in there. The brains are on the massive servers that are up on the internet. That's the way that they can keep the cost down low, because if they had to have a big processor and memory and all this analyzing being done in the little speaker there, they couldn't sell it for $20. So this privacy security really is confusing to a lot of people, because they're confusing the always listening for that wake word, with always recording. So Google isn't always recording everything that you say in the house. Let's see, John, I'm going to do this. So it's always listening. It's just not always recording, and it's listening for its wake word. Okay. And it's not recording and sending what you say all the time. So it is never always recording and watching or sending everything from within your house all the time. The recordings that are sent, so when you say the wake word and the recordings that are sent to the server, they're just like a Google search. They're stored up on the server, up on the Google servers there, and that's to both run your command, but also to improve the service. Just like a Google search, though, you can delete all of the recordings or anything that's been sent up there, and they're automatically deleted over time. But if you want to delete it right away, you can delete them at any time, and they're not used to spy on you. Okay, this is a graphic that I created. I had a team of graphic artists spend thousands of hours creating this animated graphic here to show what's going on. So here we have the home, and in the home we have a happy user here, and we have the Alexa device. And the Alexa device is going to be sitting there listening for the word Alexa. When it hears the word Alexa, it's going to record the command that the person wants it to do. It then sends the recording up to the internet, waits for a response, and then plays the response. So up at the internet, we have these big, massive Alexa servers that analyze the command. So they analyze the voice recording, they execute the command, they convert the response to speech, and then they send the response back. So how it flows is the person here says, Alexa, That wakes up the Alexa device. The user then says a command that they want done. The device records it and then sends that recording up to the internet. The internet analyzes that recording, executes one or more commands, converts the response to speech, and then sends that response back to the Alexa device. And the Alexa device has a speaker in it and says the response back to the user. So that's the flow that's always taking place. Device is listening for the wake word, in this case Alexa, records the command, sends it to the server, server executes it, sends it back, and then the device tells you what happened. Okay, the genius in these assistants is that they can remove background noise and single out their wake word. So this is an example of a Amazon Dot that looks like a hockey puck, size of a hockey puck, about 1 inch thick and 3 inches round. So tucked under that hockey puck, there actually is a ring light telling you some of the status there. But there's also 7 microphones that are in there. And they use technology called beamforming technology and enhanced noise cancellation. It's kind of fancy words there and high tech, but it basically means that it can hear you ask a question from any direction and isolate that direction. So it's not getting the other ambient noise that may be coming from a TV or other people that are talking around it. It's able to isolate that and grab that clean and that. So that's really the part of the genius that's in there. These devices, because they're utilizing services up on the internet, require an internet connection, which is easily done with your home Wi-Fi. Setup is done, like I mentioned earlier, using an app or a smartphone, and it connects to the website. These assistants can interact because the commands that you do may have it interact with thousands of other smart devices. Smart device could be on your home network, could be at work, could be at your parents' house. You could be actually manipulating smart devices anywhere in the world. It's not limited to just your house. It's when you set up and configure and say a command that will get executed and on the appropriate smart devices, no matter where they are. Just a note, not all smart devices work with all assistants. So if you are going to be buying, let's say, a camera, an outdoor camera, or a doorbell camera, or some plugs, or a TV, and you want it to work with, let's say you have Alexa or Google, you want to make sure that it's compatible with that before you buy it. Personally, I have 3 Amazon Dots in my house, and I paid about $25 each. And I also put one in my parents' apartment, and that makes it easy for me to communicate with them, and also gives them a lot of capabilities too. And I'll talk about some of the things that I set up there. This hockey puck, the Amazon Dot hockey puck, has a series of switches on top that enable you to mute it, manually turn the volume up and down, and cancel things. It also has the inputs for the power, and you could put an external audio if you wanted a bigger speaker than what's in there. So there's a few options in the Amazon Dot there. Okay, voice commands. I mentioned earlier that wake word. By default, the wake word is Alexa. If you, let's say you had a child named Alexa, you probably would not like to have that as a wake word, because every time you'd be calling your child's name, it would be activating the Alexa Alexa system there. But you can change it. If you don't like Alexa, it can be changed to Amazon, can be changed to Echo, or computer. And computer, whenever I hear computer, it sounds like 2001 Space Odyssey, where they were talking to the computer. So you'd say, computer, do this. Well, you can actually have that. Yeah. So you can change it to one of these words. You just can't change it to anything arbitrary. It has to be one of these 4 choices. The commands that I'll be showing today are using free services. So I'm not an Amazon Prime user, so I don't have access to some of the other stuff, and I'm not showing anything that currently costs me anything. So everything that I'm showing is a free service here. If you have Amazon Prime or Amazon Music or Amazon Photo or Hulu TV or audiobooks or other services, you can link them to usually the Amazon, and you can access that additional content. So if you do have some of these other services, you can do stuff. But not everything links. As an example, I've talked about I use Google Photos to put my photos. Well, I can't link the photo capability that Amazon has to Google Photos. So not everything links to everything, but a lot of things can be linked and you can access. Some commands require you to set up a skill, and a skill in Amazon terminology is a way to connect to other services and other servers. And that skill, some of the skills may require you to have an account. So if you're going to be reading emails or updating calendars, you have to tell it what email and what calendar and what account and what password to use to be able to connect to that service. So those are skills that usually require some setup there. So next we'll talk about a small sample of the millions of commands that these devices can respond to. And let me unmute. I actually have my Amazon Dot right in front of me, and I've had it muted. I've now unmuted it. So there's simple commands. So I can say, Alexa, time.
The time is 11:56 a.m.
And actually, I find this quite useful too. I have one in my bedroom, so when I wake up, I don't even have to open my eyes. I can ask it for the time. I can ask it for the weather. I can ask it for the news. But I don't even have to look at an alarm clock. I can just hear what the time is. So if it's 2 in the morning, I can say, oh, go, tell myself go back to sleep there. You can also ask it, things like weather. Alexa, what's the weather?
Right now in Minneapolis, it's 80 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Today's forecast has partly sunny weather, with a high of 92 degrees and a low of 72 degrees.
So you can get stuff like that. You can ask more sophisticated questions like, Alexa, what time is sunrise on Wednesday?
Sunrise, in Minneapolis, on Wednesday, June 16th was 5:30 a.m.
You can also get more sophisticated. Alexa, what's my flash briefing?
Tom, here's your flash briefing. From the New York Times.
From the New York Times, I'm Michael Barbaro. Here's what you need to know today.
Alexa, stop. We won't go through the total news, but this is an example of a command, and within the Alexa app, you can tell it what news or weather or other sports or things like that you're interested in, and then it'll build that so that at any time you can ask it for one of these flash briefings to give you an update. Alexa, tell me about the movie Cruella.
Cruella is a 2021 comedy film starring Emma Stone, Emma Thompson, and Joel Fry. A live-action prequel
Alexa,
feature
stop.
film following.
So it can tell you about movies. I can see what's on TV. Alexa, what's on ABC TV tonight?
Here's what's on ABC tonight. At 8, there's a new episode of The $100,000 Pyramid. At 9, there's a new episode of Card Sharks. At 10:35, there's a new episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live. And at 11:37, there's Nightline. If you'd like to hear the last one items,
Alexa, stop.
ask me to tell you.
And you can stop it at any time, obviously, and that. You can also use it as a radio. So most radio stations are accessible through Amazon there. So I can say, Alexa, play the station KS95.
KS95 from TuneIn.
Now, while it's playing that, I can also ask it to do other things. So I can say, Alexa, what's the time?
The time is 11:59 a.m.
Now we'll go back to the radio. So for $20, Alexa, off. So for the $20, you've got a radio. You've got all the capabilities there. I'm not relying on an antenna, so I get perfect reception. So it's kind of nice there to use it as a radio station. You can also play music. So if you have a subscription, again, Amazon Prime or that, you can play your music all through here. Audiobooks, you can have it read audiobooks that you purchased. There's also some free audiobooks, so you can have it read some of the free audiobooks. You can also get access to things like, this is like Pandora or that. So I can say, Alexa, play the Frank Sinatra station.
The station Frank Sinatra on Amazon Music.
Alexa, stop. So these are all free things. I'm not paying anything for any of the capabilities that I've talked about. You can also play meditation music. In addition to playing music or stuff like that, I could add to the command and say, add for 30 minutes. So play the meditation music for 30 minutes, and after 30 minutes it would turn off. So if I wanted to go to sleep to it, I could set it that way and have it play. You've heard me say stop or off or exit, or you can actually say shut up. My dad likes to say shut up because when alarms go off or timers go off telling him to take prescriptions or that, sometimes he likes to say, shut up, Alexa, shut up. You can also turn the volume up and down, even though there's some switches on the dot and things like that. You can use voice commands to turn the volume up or down, or set it to a particular number, like to 5 or 0 or 1 or mute or unmute. So there's things that you can do there. You can also open any podcast. As an example, I listen to Garage Logic, so I can say, Alexa, play Garage Logic. Oh, Alexa, play Garage Logic.
Playing Garage Logic from Amazon Music. Here's the latest episode. June 15, 2021. Steve Taylor, creator of the FB page Uptown Crime, joined us with the unpleasant update on the autonomous zone on Lake and Hennepin.
Alexa, stop. Well, we won't play it, but you can control it. You can pause it. You can go previous, next. You can rewind. So you can listen to your podcast there.
I don't know that one.
Alexa, stop. Sometimes Alexa gets confused there. You can open TED Talks.
Sorry, I am having trouble playing the music.
Oh. You can open TED Talks, so any of the TED Talks, you could listen to those. You can set alarms. So I can say, Alexa, set alarm for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
You could also give it a particular time when you wanted it to go off. So in the kitchen and other spots where I want an alarm or just want to know when a certain time is, I'll set alarms there. If you want it every day, you can set it up for every day. You can also set alarms just like an alarm clock to wake me up at 8 a.m. and instead of the alarm, I could tell it to play a certain music or a radio station. I could also set a timer, so I can say, Alexa, set a 15-minute timer for pizza. Alexa, set a 15-minute timer for pizza.
Pizza timer, 15 minutes, starting now.
And this is where I've set up prescription reminders for my parents. My mother has prescriptions 3 times a day and reminds her to take her prescriptions then. At any time, you can ask how long is left on a timer, or you can stop a timer. So I can say, Alexa, how long is left on the pizza timer?
You have 14 minutes left on your pizza timer.
And I could have any number of timers, so I'm not just limited to one timer. I could have 10 or 20 timers going at the same time. I'm not limited there. And that. You can also set up reminders, like remind me on Sunday to call Fred Jones. So if you just want to put a little hint there, you can do that. You can say, remind me 3 times a week to water my plants. So you can do things like that. You can also, I mentioned linking this to your calendar. So I can add events to my calendar. So I can say, Alexa, add an event to my calendar.
Got it, Tom. What day and time?
Today at 4 p.m.
And what's the name of the event?
Jump up and down.
I'll schedule jump up and down, today at 4 p.m., okay?
Okay.
Okay, I've added that.
And then at any time I can say, Alexa, my calendar.
Tom, here are your next 4 events. Teams meeting for PCC, JAM, June 2021 is in progress and ends at 1 p.m. PCC General Meeting is also in progress and ends at 12:30 p.m. Today, at 4 p.m. there's Jump Up and Down. And there's Twins at Mariners at 9:10 p.m. which ends tomorrow at 12:10 a.m. Do you want to hear more?
No. So you can get access to your calendar, and again, you can do these in the morning, add them at any time, things like that. Really nice to do. You can also check your email, and the email is a little more difficult to work with, but it can read your email. You can delete it, so you can do things like that. Shopping lists, you can add things. So I can say, Alexa, add eggs to my shopping list. Alexa, add eggs to my shopping list.
Eggs added.
Sometimes I talk too fast. You want to give the wake word a little pause there before you give the command. And sometimes I talk too fast, and that's why I had to repeat it there. But I can ask what's on my shopping list. I can also create new shopping lists. I can clear items off my shopping list. So you can do things like that. You can create new lists. So I have shopping lists for when I go grocery shopping, when I go to Menards, when I go to different places there. Just like a shopping list, you can have to-dos. So you can add things to your to-do. So I can say, Alexa, add to my to-do. Alexa, add to my to-do.
What can I add for you?
Write thank you notes.
I've put write thank you notes on your to-do list.
Okay. And then at any time I can have it list, I can delete, things like that. So I can, oh, there's my alarm. Alexa, alarm off. So you can delete, you can see what's out there. Now, what I'm showing here is I mentioned that you install an app on your phone or on your tablet. At any time I can open that app, and within that app, I can bring up my lists and notes. So I can bring up my lists and it'll show me these are shopping lists or that I have created and personalized ones that I've created. And then if I go into it, it'll show me the individual items that I have in there. So you can bring that up. Let's say I went to the store and I was in Cub and I was looking to shop. I could, on my phone, I'd just bring it up and I would check and see what I should be picking up. And the to-do list, the same way. You'll see your items that you have on your to-do list. So not only can you get them while you're at home, or that, you can add to it while you're at work. You can look at it when you're at a store. You can do all these things from different spots. In addition, you can ask Alexa, who's leading the golf tournament. You can enable Jeopardy so you can play games. It can help you relax. You can have it tell you a joke. Alexa, tell me a joke.
Why did the squirrel cross the road? Because he heard the ballet was performing the Nutcracker.
Alexa, how do you spell Mississippi?
Mississippi is spelled Mississippi.
And you can play games like 20 questions. There's thousands of games. You can do some joke type deals. You can roll dice. Alexa, flip a coin.
Flipping. It's tails.
So if you want to bet with somebody or that, most of us don't have change in our pocket anymore or in our purse. Now you can just use Alexa to flip a coin. You can also say things like, remind me to pick up Jimmy when I leave work every Wednesday. So you can get more sophisticated. You can start a 7-minute workout timer, open Happy Days, reorder coffee, buy deodorant, where's my order, especially if you link it to Amazon. You can directly order your items just by speaking there. Alexa, what's 12 times 23?
12 times 23 is 276.
Alexa, how many ounces in a cup?
1 cup is 8 fluid ounces.
So you can ask any question. Any Wikipedia article. Alexa, Wikipedia Antarctica.
Here's the Wikipedia article on Antarctica. Antarctica is Earth's southernmost continent.
Alexa,
It contains
you can ask it, where's the nearest bank? You can say, Alexa, how do you say thank you, Grandma, in Italian? Alexa, how do you say thank you, Grandma, in Italian?
Thank you, Grandma, in Italian is Grazie, nonna.
You can ask it what movies are playing near you, how's the traffic to the airport. I can also make a telephone call. So I'll say, Alexa, call Tom Kreuzer.
Last time you chose Tom Kreuzer's phone. Should I call there again?
Yes.
Calling Tom Kreuzer's mobile.
And I've got my phone here, and I can hear it ringing there. We'll quickly answer it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, we get all kinds of feedback. We'll turn it off here. But you can call, I can call telephone numbers, I can answer, I can hang up. So it's kind of a quick way, again, without touching anything, I was able to call there. You can send a message, you can play messages, you can play notifications, you can send a text. When you send a text, it uses your phone. So again, this is one of those skills that gets linked and that. You can also use a service on Alexa called Drop-In. Drop-In allows you to any other Amazon device. You can connect and it doesn't ring on the other end. You're just connected. Permission has to be given by both parties before you can drop in. But once you give permission, so if I'm setting up my house, I can set permissions, let's say in the living room, and at any time when I'm in my den, I can say drop in on the living room, and I can immediately start talking and conversing with who's ever in the living room there. I can also do, if you have a bigger house, you can do announcements. You can say dinner time, and that can go out to all the devices in the home so that every speaker in the home now says dinner time. If you have smart devices, you can turn on and off lamps, you can dim lights, you can turn on a fan or a heater for, let's say, an hour. You can do that. If you have a smart thermostat, you can say set the temperature and it'll do that. You can unlock the front door. You can close the garage door. Smart TVs, you can turn them on, you can turn them off, you can mute them, you can do volume up, you can change channel. So without even using the remote, you can do quite a few things on a smart TV. And I recently purchased a new TV, and I talked a little bit about some of the capabilities then. Another skill that they have is Open Guard skill, which can listen for security within your house. So if you're going to be gone, you can turn on this guard skill. It'll listen for broken glass, smoke alarms going off, and things like that, and it'll notify you. And there's also a skill for burglar deterrent to turn lights on and off and make it look like you're living there. You can also ask it things like time in New York or Alexa, what is the 3M stock price?
As of 12:52 p.m. Eastern, 3M Company traded at $199 on the New York Stock Exchange, down 0.69% since previous close.
You can also get more sophisticated. They've started building some skills for artificial intelligence. So it can sound like you're conversing with somebody, and you can ask it questions, and it'll ask you questions, and you can have a conversation there. You can also ask it things like, Alexa, who's the smartest person in the world?
Tom Kreuzer is the smartest person in the world. He has an IQ of 98,765 and is good looking too.
So you can see you can't believe everything that you hear from the Amazon Dot, but this is an example of a procedure. I created a procedure in Alexa where you can program. And the program, I can have it recognize a phrase, in this case, smartest person in the world, and then whenever it hears that, it speaks back and gives any message that I want to give. I also use it to program some of my smart devices to turn lights on and off. You can have fun with a variety of things there. And there's millions of other skills, commands, and skills that you can do. Okay, now let's talk about video assistants. So video assistant is a combination of a voice assistant with the addition of a touch screen and a camera. It's not a tablet, so a lot of people think it's a tablet just because it kind of looks like a tablet. You cannot load apps on them, but they are cheaper than a tablet. Prices range from $49 to $300 with the touch screens, ranging in size from 5-inch to 12 inches in size. Personally, I received a Echo Show 5, which is a 5.5-inch display that the picture on the right there is showing the unit, so it's not much bigger than a smartphone on its side there for Christmas. 2 years ago, and I use it in my kitchen and have found it very handy. They can do all the voice commands that we talked about earlier, but they also have some additional features and functions that we'll talk about here. Now, rather than show this, what I did is, let me see if I can use modern technology. I'm going to play a video that I recorded because I couldn't get the cameras and everything going at the same time to show you this real good on the screen. So this is my Amazon Echo Show. I used my smartphone to record the screen here, and we'll play back me explaining some of the commands here. Okay, we'll talk about some of the video commands. This is, I'm showing a movie here, just so that you can see what the screen looks like. So I recorded this earlier because I wasn't able to do this all live. One of the things that you can do is you can do drop-in, which similar to the voice, where you can drop in voice-wise to other devices in the house or other people, other friends and family that you've allowed access to. You can drop in and see the video and the audio. So it can work as a baby monitor, watch your kids. If you had grandparents or that, it'll let you do that also. You can make video calls or chats. Some of the more advanced cameras for these devices will follow you and zoom in on who is talking. It can work with both Skype and Zoom to make calls by contact names or phone numbers. Also, if you don't want to receive calls or are away, you can do a Do Not Disturb to turn it off so that you don't get calls there. Okay, let's take a look at some of the TV options. Alexa, open Stream Player.
Welcome to Stream Player. What would you like to do?
ABC News.
Launching ABC News Live.
And some of these functions take a little bit.
For Paul Whelan. And Trevor Reed's family obviously is suffering the same way now.
Alexa, go home. There's hundreds of channels, and you can set them up and give them by channel number or things like that. You aren't going to get an HBO, but you're going to get some of the free services and that you have access to. Another thing you can do is watch YouTube videos. So I can say, Alexa, show me travel videos on YouTube.
Searching YouTube.
And this will come up with some results from YouTube. And I can either do it manually or I could talk to it. But see, these are the results from there. If I wanted to watch one, I could just click on it. And it'll start up the video there.
Verizon launched the first 5G network, and now
Alexa,
we want to be the first to give
if there's a current movie out that you're interested in or that, you can say, Alexa, play the trailer for Wonder Woman. So you can watch trailers, news briefings. If you do have Amazon Prime, you can watch that. If you have Hulu, you can watch those.
God gave us many gifts. One day you'll know them all. This is where we keep them.
Alexa, go home. Another nice feature of the video is I have Wise cameras within my house, and I can actually watch those on this device. So I can say, Alexa, show me the back door. Alexa, show me the back door.
Okay.
It didn't get it the first time there. Depending on the camera, you can also get notifications in that too. Like on a Ring doorbell, it can notify you and pop up the video and that. I can watch a camera. I can't get my notifications on Alexa. But this is a live shot out my back door. And I can hear the audio or the sound back there and the video also. And so, Alexa, go home. If you have other smart devices, you can connect those. So if you're controlling lamps and things like that, you can do that, just like we did with the voice. You can control your TV if it's a smart TV. And so lots of things that can be done there. Some of the bigger display units may also be home hubs. So if you have smart devices and need a home hub, they can work for that. Another thing they can do is photos. You can put a limited number of photos up on Amazon for free. So if I say, Alexa, show me my Amazon photos. Alexa, show me my Amazon photos.
Here are some of your photos.
And that first picture is actually a selfie that I did using the device. The video device here is also capable of doing selfies and taking a photo, and then you can send it to anybody that you want. Alexa, go home. I can also do things like I could ask it to show me pictures of cats out on the internet or things like that. If I'm cooking in the kitchen, I can say, Alexa, show me a lasagna recipe. Alexa, show me a lasagna recipe.
Okay, for lasagna, here's a few recipes.
And again, I can pick one of them or go in and so you can start, you can save it, it'll show you all the different steps. So kind of a nice little deal there. Alexa, go home. You can also ask it, what can I make with broccoli? What should I make for dinner? What wine goes best with fish? But I can also do things like, Alexa, show me my calendar.
Here's what's on the calendar.
And it'll show you your calendar there. So that's kind of nice there. If you have timers, you can do that. Alexa, show me my to-do list.
Here's your to-do list.
So I can see my different lists there. Alexa, show me the weekend forecast.
Here's the weather for St. Paul for the weekend.
Okay. You could ask it for show times. You can also do commands like scroll up, down, left, right, go home. You can also open a browser. So I can say, Alexa, open Silk. And Silk is the browser that, Alexa, open Silk.
Here is Silk.
And this will open browser here. And you can save bookmarks. And see, even get to the PC Club website and that there, or or if you set up other bookmarks, or you could type in a URL or say a URL, but there's some that are set, and you can put any others in here. So you can put the ones that you like there. I mentioned earlier you can do Alexa, take a selfie.
Swipe left for stickers.
Okay.
Saving to Amazon Photos.
And it takes
If you'd like to send this photo to someone, just ask me to share it.
No, thanks. Alexa, home, go home. It can also scan barcodes or add things to your shopping list. Or you can hold up a can or something with a barcode, and you can say, Alexa, what am I holding?
Let's see. If you need to, touch the device to reorient yourself. Show me another side.
We'll pause it there. Let me cancel that. So there's lots of features in the video that can be done there. And millions of other skills and commands, just like the voice there. Lots of things to do there. Some additional information, let me pull this up. You can, if you do have an Alexa device, you can get weekly newsletters that'll tell you commands that you can try. So I recommend, at least when you're learning Alexa and that, to sign up for the newsletters, and that's done through the app itself or your Amazon Alexa account there. You can always use a Google search to find out how to do something. So if you want to see if Alexa or that can do something, just Google it, and chances are you'll find a skill, or you'll be able to figure out how to do it. Another thing that just came up recently, Amazon within the last month actually turned on a feature in a number of Amazon devices called Amazon Sidewalk, which allows other people's devices that are near your home or near your Amazon device to connect to your device by borrowing a sliver of your bandwidth. They can't take over your network or do anything there, but still, I don't need to let anyone else use my bandwidth in my house. So I went into the Alexa app and I turned it off. And you can go to the Alexa app, go to settings, account settings, Amazon Sidewalk, and you can disable it so that your neighbors or anybody else will not be able to use any of your Wi-Fi there for their devices. Okay, that's the end there. What I'll do is I'll stop sharing, and I'll turn on my video here, and we'll check the chat and see. It looks like we might have some questions there. Let's see, demo. Okay, Mitch asks, for the official line, Alexa, are you spying on me? Yes, like I said, it's always listening for its word there, but it's not always recording and sending that up to the internet. Only if you give it the wake word will you see stuff there. Okay, Mitch, you can also have Alexa read non-audio Kindle books using synthesized voice. So there's literally millions of these skills to let you do almost anything. So most things that you can do with a tablet or with other devices, you can do with these voice assistants or digital assistants there also. I'll open it up for if anybody wants to ask a question or that. You can unmute yourself and turn your video on, and you can ask a question. Okay, Bonnie asks, when does Alexa stop recording? Alexa is recording when you give the wake word. Excuse me. So when you give the wake word, in my case, Alexa, then it'll start recording. It'll stop when it deems that it's a long pause, and then it sends that up to the server to then process it. So it stops recording after you give it the command that you want it to do or execute. Yes.
Is there a monthly charge?
No, there is not a monthly charge. Now, again, if you want additional music services, or let's say you wanted Hulu for TV, then that would be a monthly charge. But everything that I showed you today, there's no charge associated with any of it.
Oh, thank you.
It really is the future. I mentioned the Jetsons, and you know, if somebody had said to me 50 years ago or even 40 years ago that we'd have devices like this, I wouldn't have predicted it would have happened that quick. But because the processors and because the speed, it really is remarkable what they can do.
Hey, Tom, it's Mitch.
Sure, Mitch.
I've been looking for that setting to turn off the sidewalk feature on the phone app, and it hasn't shown up yet. I have an Echo Show 5, I think, or 8. Echo Show 8. Anyway, it was supposed to be part of the devices that would that would feature sidewalk, but I haven't found that in the settings.
Maybe try updating your apps if you haven't updated your apps. It literally just became available in the last week.
Okay.
And I turned it off 3 or 4 days ago. So it is in there, and that as an option now. Okay. So it should be there now. Like you say, not all devices. If you have a really old, let's say you just have a single Amazon Dot and it's one of the originals, that doesn't have the capability of even doing sidewalk. So that wouldn't show up in there. But if you have a newer device, it should show up there, and then you should be able to turn it off. And my devices are, I think the 5 that I got, like I said, was 2 years ago, and so that had the capability in there.
Okay, I'll try that. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, Bonnie makes a comment or asks the questions. Are you aware of wearable clip-on for clothing or thinking nursing home resident? Actually, my parents are in a senior assisted living, and I've given this presentation at that facility. And the beauty of this is you don't have to have anything clipped on. If you've just got one of these Amazon Dots in the room, people can speak. So my mother or my father can be in there and say, you know, call Tom, and it can call me or that. So you can or a date and time, because their vision isn't what it used to be and things like that. These are great tools for people with disabilities and stuff like that, because you don't have to type, you don't have to use a mouse or anything to utilize a lot of these things. Any other questions or comments? A lot of capabilities, and like I say, I'm just blown away by you're getting all this capability for, you know, $20 for the basic models there, and you're seeing it built into almost everything. My last TV that I bought, that had the capability, and you're seeing it in cars. If you don't have it in your current car, I believe there's a $30 or $40 little deal that you can put in the car to connect to your smartphone and give you the Alexa capability on the car. So there's all these things that are becoming enabled there. Okay, Bonnie says she would only have access to the home's Wi-Fi, not her own personal Wi-Fi. Yeah, Bonnie, as long as it's access to any Wi-Fi and the guest Wi-Fi. So my parents are at Carondelet Senior Living Facility, and I connected to that Carondelet guest Wi-Fi there, and that's the way it's connected. And everything that I've shown today, they can do on their devices and that. Any other questions or comments there? If you do come up with any, you can send me an email or stop into the next question and answer, and we'll try and get to it there. If there's not, I've went a little bit long here and that, but appreciate everybody for checking in. And if you don't have one of these devices, certainly get it. If you do have one of these devices, start looking into all the millions of commands and skills that you can do, because there's so many things that it can do for you and automate for you. Otherwise, we'll say goodbye, and everybody have a good day then.